Majestic is a project I made in New Orleans just 3 years after Katrina. We went to visit New Orleans. I was invited by the 3rd of May. It's two curators that put together this organization to give the chance to an artist like me to create a work. Together we went to visit New Orleans, and while we were looking for a project and an idea, I came out with this idea of using those streetlights after visiting a site where they were collected by a company that was in charge of fixing those streetlights. I was interested in streetlight before I came there. I made a couple of sculptures with streetlight before, but it was a chance to find this lot of streetlight. There was maybe 15 that I could rearrange and fix, and because there was a lot, but they were all broken and they needed a lot of work on them. It makes sense to work with those lights because they were damaged during the hurricane. My idea was to take those elements that were dismantled and that fall on the ground and put them together in a new configuration all around a hub. It works like a center of gravity where all the elements connect together and create a new configuration. And I think it talks about how after the chaos things can reorganize and create a new whole. It was fantastic to work in New Orleans with the people because they were really much involved in my project, and I probably because of what they had to deal with, they became extremely solidar to each other and willing to help and to collaborate in my project. I was working with a guy. He's a sculptor, a local sculptor. He's a fantastic guy. He's a clown. He's like a really funny and really a nice person. And the studio was in a part of New Orleans that has been completely destroyed during the hurricane, and part of it has been rebuilt. And I was surprised how conservative are the people around there. But at the same time, they got involved in the project. So it was very different than what I experienced before. And so Louis is in demand. He has a lot of resource. We were working with many limitations technically, but at the same time we had access to a lot of people that came and give a hand and help for the production. So the most complicated part was to build the center core of the sculpture. It's made of metal, and it was designed in 3D and laser cut by a company there. And then all the parts were welded together. And then we had to fix all the street light and find the parts to reactivate those lights. And we rent a crane from a friend of Louis, and we put the piece together once in the studio and again on the site. When I first visit this site, it's in a part of New Orleans that is very black and very interesting, and the architecture of the house are really beautiful, all in wood. And we found that site with Rhonda Corvisi and Laurel that are like the curator from the 3rd of May that helped me to put together this project. We found that site, and I think it's really on that site that the title came to me. And it's because, in fact, there was this big sign in front of a funeral home, this big sign made in the 50s with neon light and very like a beautiful sign, and it was the Majestic funeral home, and it's an old house in wood, and there was this land behind. So I was thinking of placing the sculpture there, And so I took the title from this place, and it makes sense because it was linked to the story of the site and where the piece came from, because I really imagined the sculpture when I was there, linked to that land. The piece was made with those elements that were left over and partially destroyed during Katrina hurricane. The context of chaos and destruction produce its own possibility for a new creation and a new solution. Like when there's a destruction, it suggests the possibility for a new construction. And seeing those light left over and disassembled in a container in a scrapyard suggests the possibility of reorganizing those pieces of equipment into a new configuration that create hope, because it shows that it's possible to make something out of nothing. And in fact, it's probably really much when there's a kind of destruction that there's an opportunity for a creation.